great day in the NFL tonight. The Denver Broncos have been, I think, one of the more pleasant surprises, so to speak, so far this year. I know they built some momentum a year ago, but they're looking really good with Bo Nix, a former Auburn star quarterback, taking on the Raiders, the Las Vegas Raiders. I always want to say L.A., then I want to say Oakland. They've been everywhere, it feels like. Mariah Ross, one of my favorite moments of today's show, when she was like, I knew better than to be a Raiders fan, so she quickly jumped off that
Can we just stop real quick and just talk about how we've had one amazing moment with every guest
we have.
Yes, Mariah about that. Chessa about the old governor and everything, and then Courtney going on about the crystal ball.
Right.
We'll get that happening. I mean, just great show today. But, yeah, as you mentioned, on Thursday, going to be an interesting matchup to me because on paper – this matchup really doesn't mean much.
Right.
Broncos 7-2. They're pretty much running away with the West there. The Raiders, I mean, it's been a struggle. They've lost that guy right there in the picture, Brock Bowers, for most of the season. But he came back and had a pretty good game last week in his return against Jacksonville. It's just interesting because this Broncos team, I don't really know what to make of them just yet. We saw last year, Bo Nix, rookie year. Yeah, it was a great year, but you could tell once the playoffs rolled around, they just got beat by a much better Buffalo Bills team.
Yeah.
I don't know what to make of them yet this year.
I'm the same way. I think obviously defensively they're still dynamic, and they still have one of, if not the best player in football on defense in Patrick Surtain. The defense is outstanding, and I think it's just enough to be able to kind of hold the boat. What I really like about the Broncos is obviously their coach, and Sean Payton's been outstanding. And the receiving core for Bo Nix has been really dynamic as well. Yeah. They don't have a ton of these star names like the Eagles have. A.J. Brown, of course. Oh, yeah. And you have the former Bama star Devontae Smith. And Dallas Goedert. They have a bunch of weapons that you know from a name standpoint. The Broncos obviously have Cam Sutton that people know. But this is a Broncos wide receiver weapons core, to me, that can help hold the boat open, or hold the boat up for the offense for them to get on board. I think they'll have no problem tonight against the Raiders because I think the Raiders are basically starting from scratch here. But I'm right there with you with the Broncos because I don't see them in the same light, and people might think I'm crazy with this. I don't see the Broncos in the same light that I see the Kansas City Chiefs. Now the people will say, well, the Broncos right now have a 7-2 record. The Chiefs are 5-4.
Right.
But I still trust Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid, Travis Kelce, and company to continue to do work. Not so sure about this Denver team.
Yeah, and I mean, one of the guys that I feel like has been having a resurgent year has been J.K. Dobbins. Right? Yes. He was just hampered by continuous injuries in Baltimore. It never felt like he truly got a chance because he was just on IR the whole time. It felt like he was in Baltimore. But another guy that's looking to come off a lost year was Evan Ingram. And I just remember him and his time in Jacksonville. And I was like, man, he's really blossomed into one of the better tight ends in the game. And you could make the argument that he was easily in the top 10, maybe even in the top 5 in the game at one point.
Right.
But last year he missed 7 games. And this year he goes to Denver trying to reinvigorate himself. Only has 1 touchdown this year, but I wonder if he starts becoming more of a weapon as this season goes on.
Yeah.
Because you talked about the wide receiver room. There's no names that really stick out to you.
Right.
And, I mean, injuries start to stack up here late in the season. We've seen it already. And unfortunately, there's just been a mass chaos when it comes to the injury front.
Right, exactly.
And I feel like he could be one guy that they could turn to.
For sure. And I was like just pulling up their season stat sheet for their guys. I called him Cam Sutton. I'm sorry. I meant to call him by his name. Cortland Sutton. But then also you have Troy Franklin, Marvin Mims. Those are your top 4. And Evan Ingram is right there at number 5 overall for the season. 215 yards and a touchdown so far this year. So he can be a big player for them moving forward. The former Ole Miss star there for the Denver Broncos going into this week's game. We got a chance to hear from Bo Nix and the former Auburn star. I think it's kind of like Jalen Mills. It's kind of not Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts, where he started in the SEC. Most of his tenure is in the SEC. Went to somewhere else to try to finish his career, but we still claim him in the SEC. Yeah, exactly.
I think, if we can find a way not to have to play the number 1 defense in the league, that might help. But, they're trying to keep us from scoring at the same time we're trying to score. So it's not easy, and we found ways at times. And the good thing is we've fooled guys like you to believing that's easy at some point in the game. So I think that's, we always want to score every drive. That's, point blank period. That's our goal. Sometimes we fall short of that goal, and we have to, rely on the next drive and go score the next drive. But, I think at times we execute better than others, and then we just got to find a way to execute all of them like they're the most important thing ever. And we're always really close, and so that's the good thing.
We mentioned Bo and his ties to the SEC. He's one of several guys for those Denver Broncos that are former stars out of the Southeastern Conference.
Yes, Bo Nix. I mean, you can claim him Auburn. You can also claim him Oregon. It's the same way with Jalen Hurts.
Right.
Both Oklahoma and Alabama can claim him. But another guy from Auburn, Jarrett Stidham, his backup. He might. You never know. I know we saw a few weeks ago Quinn Ewers got some action on Thursday Night Football. Yep. Tyler Beatty out of Mizzou, Adam Prentice, South Carolina, and then Marvin Mims, as you mentioned there, coming from Oklahoma. And then moving on here, Trent Sherfield Jr. out of Vanderbilt, Nate Adkins, Evan Ingram, who we just talked about, trying to reinvigorate himself there in the Mile High City, Savion Jones out of LSU, and then DJ Jones out of Ole Miss. And then keeping it right along here, Malcolm Roach out of Texas, Nick Benito, one of the stars on that Denver Broncos defense. Dre Greenlaw as well out of Arkansas. Quay Robinson, Alabama. Chris Abrams-Drain. And then rounding it out here from the Broncos, Jahdae Barron from Texas. Pat Surtain, I believe he was the Defensive Player of the Year last year.
That's right.
I mean, you don't really see that out of a corner in today's NFL. PJ Locke out of Texas. And then Jeremy Crawshaw out of Florida doing the punting duties. But let's move over to Vegas here.
Yeah.
It feels like it's just, when is the suffering going to end?
Yeah, this has been rough because the turn of Geno Smith, you think maybe you got something rolling. Tom Brady's a part owner of this football team. Pete Carroll, a champion head coach, is the head coach of the team, and you think that the tide is about to turn here. It just fully hasn't so far, and you see the talent there. They beat the Patriots to start the season off. I mean, you think, okay, this team has.
And you see where the Patriots have gone now.
Correct, yeah, and so I mean, you get the sense that they can get it done. They just haven't been able to fully take that jump to that next level, and I really don't know where you go from here. Do you burn it all down, or you try to get some draft picks and see if you can run it back with some more talent?
Well, I think, in my opinion, I think they should have traded away Max Crosby. I'm a little bit stunned that they did keep him through the deadline, because you could have easily gotten an overhaul for him. But I mean, you got to build around this guy right here, Brock Bowers.
Yep.
And yeah, it hasn't been a great year for him because of the injury side, but you saw what he was able to do last year. We got a chance to watch him during his career at Georgia. I mean, you knew right away that this guy was going to be going in the first round. 3 touchdowns in his return. I think if you're going to build any sort of momentum, I don't think Geno Smith's the answer. I'm sorry. I'm a West Virginia guy.
Right.
Geno went to West Virginia. I feel like he had a great run there in Seattle, reinvigorating his career again.
Yeah.
After the Jets. I feel like his time is up here in the NFL. Aiden O'Connell hasn't really been the answer. They tried to go to him last year, nearly beat the Chiefs late in the season.
Right.
I think you just got to start fresh, got to get a new quarterback, and just build from there.
Probably just tear it all down. I think he's not the same reclamation project that we've seen with some of these other quarterbacks in the league. And we saw Brock Bowers tear it up at the University of Georgia. We knew he would be a superstar kind of player, and he's one of several guys with ties to the Southeastern Conference for this Raiders team as well.
Yeah, I mean, just looking at this, I think last year I had him on fantasy.
No, I have him this year.
You have him this year?
I have him this year, yeah.
Oh, man. Who do I have? I think I have Ferguson and Tyler Warren. So, I mean, it's hard to – two guys that have just been able to carry that just fine.
Been able to dominate it. So, yeah, he has been good. But you mentioned coming back from injury and got a chance to hear from him about being able to get back into action on the field.
Yeah, I think, personally, mentally, it's harder not playing than playing just because you want to be out there so bad. And, it sucks when you're not out on the field helping the team. Maybe a little fresh legs, but I just kind of tried to treat it like any other week and I mean, you can't have those thoughts going through your head like you have to do this, you have to do that. You just got to go out there and play.
And Brock Bowers, one of several former SEC players to come out of the league and into this franchise, joins Zamir White, former Georgia star, Deontay Thornton as well out of Tennessee. There is, of course, Bowers and Stone Forsythe out of Florida, and Adam Butler coming out of Vanderbilt. Tonka Hemingway, I should say, from South Carolina. Jola Lalu out of Oklahoma. JJ Pegues, former Miss star. Jamal Adams, who went over in a trade from Seattle,
yes.
now with the Raiders over there at LSU. Devin White, also from LSU, as they call it, DBU over there for that football program. Eric Stokes from Georgia. Chris Smith II from the Georgia Bulldogs as well. And former Auburn kicker Daniel Carlson for the Auburn Tigers there. Lots of SEC talent on display here. Who do you like in the game?
I got to go with Denver here. I mean, just on paper, not a great matchup. I still think the better team comes out with a win. Who do you have?
I like Denver as well.
Yeah.
Denver scares me, though, because they get off to really slow starts. Now, their fourth quarter, when they beat the Giants, they scored 33 points there in that one quarter. They've been a good second-half team, but first halves have been a bit shaky here for this squad.
Yeah, and you ready to go into our favorite segment ever?
Let's do it.
Here we go. Best bets. I'll start us off here.
All right.
I got Brock Bowers anytime touchdown here at plus 170. I think Bowers going to be able to build off of last week. It's a huge boost for this team to get back into just a rhythm. I mean, the offense hasn't really had an identity this year, and with Bowers coming back, having that 3-touchdown game last game, I really like him in this one. Let's move over to the Denver side. Bo Nix, 225-plus pass yards. I feel like Bo Nix has really started to develop himself into being one of the premier quarterbacks in the league, easily in the top 15. You can make the argument maybe even in the top 10, but I really like what Sean Payton's doing over there with him. And then our guy, J.K. Dobbins, 60-plus rush yards. It's been a tough career for J.K. With injuries. We just talked about it. I like him, playing an impact in this game. We don't usually see high-scoring games on Thursday Night Football.
That's right, especially in division.
Yeah, but I think with this one, it's just there's too much. The Raiders' defense is just too suspect. The Raiders team in general is just too suspect. And
Yeah, I can see a high-scoring game there as well for a lot of different reasons, and one of my best bets will kind of illuminate one of those things. I have Ashton Genty.
Ashton Genty.
Anytime touchdown.
Okay.
Plus 100.
Plus 100. Okay.
Plus 100 for anytime touchdown. Here's another one. I have Geno Smith over a half of an interception. You can get it at minus 175, which lets you know where that is. It started there or plus 137. I like the minus 175 for over. And Cortland Sutton over 56 yards in tonight's game.
Yeah, I mean, my poor guy Geno. I feel so bad. It's just. It's like Unk hanging up at this point.
I know.